Hey tribe, welcome back! So, to understand the true chronology of how South Asian society developed directly from the original African migrations, we really need to connect the archaeological trail left in the earth to the genetic trail left in modern populations. By combining the stone tool records of the Sun Valley with the landmark population genetics studies from Harvard Medical School, the data actually charts the exact route of the African migrants and reveals how a rigid social architecture, artificially froze India's genetic history in place.
The geographic entry into South Asia was not accidental. It was a highly logical, resource-driven path. When anatomically modern humans carrying the maternal L3, M and N mitochondrial lineages migrated across the Red Sea, they utilized a southern coastal route. Original homeland, narrow crossing gate, coastal highway, the primary gateway, the coastal highway. Because sea levels were significantly lower 65,000 years ago, the exposed coastlines of the Arabian Peninsula served as a natural geographic highway.
The Gateway Oasis. As these migrants turned inland into the Indian subcontinent, they funneled directly into major river systems. The Sun River Valley in central India became one of the primary base camps of early human dispersal.
The Howiesons Poort technology connection. Archaeological excavations in the Sun Valley have uncovered distinct microlithic and backed segment stone tools. These are highly advanced, small, sleek stone flakes used for tipping spears.
The diagnostic match. When compared by computers, these Sun Valley artifacts do not match the bulky hand axes of local archaic hominins. Instead, they're actually technologically identical to the Howiesons Poort microblades found in East and South Africa. This data provides concrete material proof that the individuals who settled the Sun Valley were an unbroken, direct technological extension of African hunter-gatherer societies. While the Sun Valley tools track the arrival of these African descendants, genome-wide studies led by geneticist David Reich at Harvard Medical School explain how their genetic signatures were preserved. For millennia after the African migration, India was a fluid, open demographic landscape.
The blending era, which lasted from about 4,200 to 1,900 years ago, was honestly a time of remarkable genetic mixing across the entire subcontinent. The Harvard data shows that between 2200 BCE and 100 CE, intense genetic blending took place everywhere. The descendants of the original African migration, known as Ancestral South Indians or ASI, mixed heavily and continuously with incoming migrations from West and Central Asia, called the Ancestral North Indians or ANI. During this era, there was really no genetic isolation. Even the most remote tribal populations took part in this massive blending. The codification of caste, this sudden cessation of gene flow, perfectly aligns with the historical timeline when major religious laws and social codes, like the Manusmriti, were written and strictly enforced, legally banning marriage outside of one's specific social group. By mandating endogamy, or marrying strictly within a specific community, the caste system effectively erected thousands of artificial, impenetrable genetic barriers across India. The Endogamy Wall, which began around 1,900 years ago, marked a sudden and dramatic shift. Around 100 CE, the genetic data just flatlines. Basically, the rampant mixing stopped entirely across the subcontinent.
Why does this matter to the African narrative? Well, because the caste system halted intermarriage 1,900 years ago, it acted as a kind of genetic time capsule. It froze the exact proportions of ancestral DNA in place within each community. This social rigidity prevented the ancient, foundational African genetic markers, like the unmutated UV-protective SLC24A5 skin pigmentation variants, from being diluted or homogenized over time. Southern Indian populations, or ASI, retained a massive concentration of this original African ancestry, preserving a clear biological line of sight straight back to the original hunters of the Sun Valley.
So, the anthropological conclusion is that South Asian society did not develop in a separate vacuum. The Sun Valley stone blades prove that the physical technology used to settle India came directly out of East Africa. Centuries later, the Harvard genetic data proved that while subsequent migrations added complexity, the foundational African lineage was permanently locked into the subcontinent's DNA by the sudden onset of caste endogamy.
The variation in skin tones across modern India isn't a separate evolutionary event. It's a direct genetic inheritance that's been preserved for 65,000 years by the geography of migration and the strictness of human social systems.
If you want to continue analyzing these populations, would you like to examine the health metrics and genetic disorders that modern South Asians face due to this 2,000-year history of strict endogamy? Or look at the linguistic data connecting Dravidian languages to ancient global migration corridors?
Well, stick around for the next one. And, thanks for watching.